Welcome, troops, to SOS, and we just watched the go home shows of all go home shows. I've got with me on my left, he battled back, and he's here tonight, kicking death's ass, Hollywood Edwards. And to my right, him and I did a show last night about Monday Night Raw. He's back here tonight on Tuesday night for Smackdown Live. The captain of chaos, the captain of swag, the cool one, Daddy Cool AC. Gents, how you doing tonight?
What's up? Nah, I'm good. Let's get into this fun stuff we're gonna get into. I'm sure. Edwards, it's good to see you alive.
Yeah, I was booked pretty weak against the flu, but I'm starting to make a comeback finally after 3 days. I feel like a 90s Jeff Hardy's match right now, but I'm making my comeback. I'm starting. The crowd's behind me. I'm hulking up.
For a while there, you were jobbing out to the flu like Triple H with the envelope.
Yes, very, very similar.
That douchebag flu.
So we go to the ring to start off the show, and it's no other than KO. This guy is great. Remember when he had the shirt, Sting's going to kill you? Same guy. So he's got a show. It's called the Kevin Owens Show. And actually, you guys, he does a great job at this. He's very funny at this. He brings out Orton. He brings out AJ. And this, I thought, was a fantastic segment. Now, I got to ask you guys, were these guys shooting at each other? That shot from AJ to Orton about, he was busy flunking drug tests and that. I mean, I can't imagine that Orton was in love with that. He doesn't seem to like to talk about that very much. A lot of good stuff in this little conversation. What do you think about it, Hollywood?
Yeah, this is the second time they've done that. So I thought the first one they were shooting a little bit. When he brought up Dixie, suntan with Dixie and all that. But yeah, this was a great segment. I love how Kevin Owens, we give a lot of crap to Kevin Owens, but this was the second one I liked. He just gets up and walks away. It was hysterical. And he did it kind of like fast, like he was the little kid that like, don't notice me getting up and leaving. I'm out. Just beeline right outside. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I think this segment here did a lot for the match, I think. Now I actually want to see the match. I think they sold me on it on one little promo here.
How about that? So AJ says that Orton, in all the years he's been in WWE, 20 years, he's only learned one move. AC, I mean, Orton said AJ's busy working in high school gymnasiums. You've been to probably a show or two in a high school gymnasium trying to make $50, Orton claimed. But he says now that John Cena's gone, AJ has taken the role of the corporate bitch. What did you say about that, AC?
I'll say this. I know what AJ charged for merch and Audis and 8x10s, and he made more than $50. He made $50 off of Daddy Cool in one show. So I get the point. Obviously, I'm kidding. I'll be honest with you. I hate to say it because I've always loved AJ. And I want to see Randy Orton kick his ass. I don't know why. There's just something about this match. Ever since Orton's been going after AJ, I'm just digging what Orton's doing, and I'm like, I want to see him kick AJ's ass. Now, the logic in my brain would tell me that we'll see the opposite, especially since he hit the RKO tonight. Then again, maybe they'll try to top that RKO on the show. Yeah, I'm more sold on this one than other ones. Is it in the top 5 of what I want to see? I'd probably say no, but I would say tonight definitely helped. It was a good promo. I thought Orton was better than AJ still, so that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Moving on, we go to the 8-man tag team match. I mean, I don't know. They love to do these things, I guess. It's Aleister Black and Ricochet, our favorite tag team, teamed up with the Usos. They're taking on Rusev, Nakamura, in vintage circa 2015 NJPW form.
Oh God.
Cesaro and Sheamus. This is what it is. It's a 4-on-4 match. The Usos get to win. Alexa Bliss comes out afterwards. AC pops. I got the text.
I did pop for Alexa.
And then we learn that we're going to see another shit show at WrestleMania. It's going to be a fatal 4-way tag team championship match. Hollywood, this is the one you were waiting for, right?
Yep, this was. Turn my mic on this time. Yep, this was the one. I was waiting for this one. For how long? All my life, I guess. 35 years I've been waiting for this one. Dude, listen, this whole thing is... It's a testament to what WWE is. I mean, if you look at the fact that they're forcing people into matches now, they're purposely trying to get as many people on the card as possible. This is further proof of it, and it's further proof of everything that we talk about. Nothing is planned. They don't have a plan from month to month, let alone, year to year. Dude, I gotta say, it's stuff like this that's really pushing me away after WrestleMania. Now, I'm gonna try and bury this for the rest of the week. I'm pumped for the celebration that is wrestling for this week, so I'm gonna push it aside. But I just gotta say, it's a giant red flag to me as to why I should run straight into the arms of Impact and straight into the arms of ROH, right back to my old friends there in New Japan and maybe my new friends in AEW. Because after you see this spot and how they put it together, there's no purpose for it. There's no point. We all thought it was going to be the Hardys versus the Usos. Apparently that's not happening. That would have been the better option. But again, we're stuck with, let's just get 8 guys on the card. And God only knows where the Revival is on the Mania card. And again, it's tag team wrestling. This is how they're treating tag team wrestling. It's terrible.
AC, it seemed like they were setting up for the Hardy Boys and the Usos. What happened?
That's a fantastic question. My guess is that was the plan and they scrapped it, or maybe they didn't have a plan, like Hollywood said. This seems to me like they were sitting around and going over the finalized WrestleMania card yesterday and said, holy shit, what are we going to do with the Usos? Well, pal, get those NXT guys, we got to get them on the show. And, well, yeah, we'll get the bar. Right, I like the bar. Bring the bar on there. And who else can we put in the match? Rusev and Nakamura. Get them on there. Fatal 4-way. Who cares? It's the B Team Smackdown Blue titles. Nobody cares about those titles. I don't understand. I just don't understand it when you have 2 guys that have been top level tag team talent for you for so stinking long. They were good when they did nothing with tag team wrestling. They were great during runs with the Wyatt family when there actually was a Wyatt family. And then I guess they cooled off because it was the same gimmick. They go out, reinvent themselves, get it over, get buried by another tag team that's been repackaged 17 different times, who they want to build into indestructible monsters, the Bash Brothers. Of course, one of them gets hurt, and that goes away. So you bury the Usos for that. They continue to reinvent themselves and get the gimmick even better. Are the best tag team you have, a top 5 tag team in all of tag team wrestling in the world right now, and this is what you do to the Usos. Why would the Revival want to stay in WWE? Why would Doc and Carl want to stay in WWF? Why would you want to be a tag team? All the tag teams they bring up from NXT, they do nothing with them. They ruin them. They break them apart. They don't care about tag team wrestling. Why have 2 stinking tag team titles when you don't care about tag team wrestling? And then put tag team titles on women to boot. It just makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. These people, what they've done to tag team wrestling has set back tag team wrestling 100 years. I would have said 20 years ago or 30 or 40, but no, tag team wrestling was so much better back then. It's not even funny. It is like they don't care about the tag team championship. So it really does make you wonder, why have them? Why have a women's tag team championship?
Or why did the Young Bucks not sign? Because they're not stupid, EC3.
It's, to me, Hollywood, and we've had these conversations, and I know people are sick of hearing them probably. But to me, Vince McMahon and the WWE have totally turned their backs on tag team wrestling. And maybe it's at the point where they just need to stop. Because I'd rather not see a match than see this match that they booked for WrestleMania.
Yeah, I would agree.
Could I make one?
The ironic,
sorry, go ahead.
The ironic thing too is they're showing those stills of the Hall of Fame, and you have two of the best tag teams ever going in this year in the Hart Foundation and Harlem Heat.
Yep.
I mean, it's pretty sad when you see that after you see how they're booking tags now.
Yeah.
You were gonna say AC.
No, I just wanted to bring something up quick about this match too. It has to do with Aleister Black, and I know we've been picking on Aleister Black a lot, and so I'll just pile on.
Aleister Smack.
Yeah, Aleister Smack. Not only that, you said something 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I've kept an eye on it. You said these guys need to slow down.
Yes.
When Aleister Black got in that match, it was like he was Usain Bolt running a fucking 100-meter dash. I was watching him. He was trying to do so much so fast. I'm looking at him like, dude, slow down. It's pro wrestling. It doesn't have to be fast. And then the Uso gets tagged in. I think it was Jay. And you just see Jay methodically go through what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's so much better. It's not even funny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it would stand out on an NXT show or an indie show because you see so much of it. You're almost trained for it. But when you're watching a WWE show at the highest level here with teams like the Usos who have been in that spot forever and know how to work to this crowd and this audience, the difference is so vast. It's shocking, to be honest with you.
Here's the thing. How does it make sense with Ricochet and Aleister Black? I mean, they beat the Revival twice in non-title matches. Last night, they get the title shot. They lose by a count-out. And now they're being thrown into a match for the Smackdown Tag Team Championship.
But it's 2 nights after they're supposedly wrestling for the NXT titles. So are they going to carry those titles onto WrestleMania? My guess now is that that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to carry the NXT titles onto WrestleMania. You can see it coming. And it sucks for War Raiders. Sorry, I almost said War Machine again. Because there'll always be War Machine to me. That's what I'll say. The 3 of us were in the building when War Machine won the ROH tag titles. Even though Taven got hurt in that match. Remember, Final Battle 15, I think it was? Yep. So I love that tag team. And they're going to have to job to Ricochet and Black because they're going to have to carry NXT titles onto WrestleMania. Because let's face it, they aren't sending them onto WrestleMania coming off a loss on NXT. I just don't see it. We thought last night they're going to break them up finally. I guess that's not happening.
Well, I wouldn't be too sure about them not sending them into WrestleMania with a loss. This is the WWE, and that doesn't seem to matter.
Oh, you're right. It doesn't matter. I mean, Becky tapped and then won on the same night, so why wouldn't he? I mean, it's 2 nights away. Everybody will forget by then, right?
I'll say this. If they lose to the War Raiders, they can't win the SmackDown Tag Team Championship.
Listen, if the Usos drop those titles, if they drop those titles to those 2 guys, I will lose. There will be no more WrestleMania in my house. I will bust every TV. I will lose my mind if that happens.
We know that's a possibility. We all saw the Twitter picture of your computer, so that could happen.
It's happened, yeah.
Moving on, next segment, Hollywood. This was a great segment. It was Peyton Royce and Billy Kay from the Iconics. They came out and they just put on a promo show. Did you want to say anything about this?
No.
I mean, my ears are ringing a little still. I mean, it was kind of loud.
1-on-3 handicap match, The Miz versus Sanity. Shane apparently booked this match to put The Miz in on the handicap match, probably to soften him up for the big Mania match. Miz gets on the mic and promotes his Miz and Mrs. show, which, by the way, we're missing right now because we are hard at work for our fans and troops here at SOS.
Well, hey, they put it up against their own 205 live show, so why shouldn't we put up our show up against their show?
Well, there you go. Miz goes on to call Shane a son of a bitch.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you, they're getting aggressive with these words.
Shane comes out to watch the match. He wants to see this big spectacle. But in the end, The Miz gets to win Hollywood. Anything about this match, the promo segment, anything you want to talk about with Miz and Shane?
Here's the best part. During this match, we get the text from AC. I love this text. Riot Squad says, "We are the most buried trio in WWE. Sanity says, hold my beer." Perfect.
I mean,
it's true.
There's nothing else you can say. Just...
Nope, that's about it. You nailed it right there. Yeah, I think they're missing the boat on Sanity too. I think they would be a cool mid-card, and again, tag team. You know, any combination of the three, maybe like an answer to the New Day or whatever.
They can all go too.
They can all go.
Eric Young, I know he's a little bit older, but I mean he actually had some good spots in this I don't know what a match I guess you call it tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's all I got to say about it. I mean, it's funny they're treating certain people like jobbers, and it's glaring, and I don't mean jobber disrespectfully. I mean jobber by the definition. They're enhancement talent. They're nothing more.
Right.
Sucks.
You don't know if they're going to be on the show, and then when they are, they're on the show to get their point across. Like I said last night with the Riot Squad, they looked around the locker room and say, "How are we going to make Ronda Rousey look badass?" Oh, there's Ruby Riot. How are we going to make Shane Miz look badass tonight? Oh, he beats the shit out of 3 guys of Sanity. He looks like a badass. Okay, there you go. You know, to me, it's lazy. It's just lazy.
Well, and they don't care. As far as character protection, there isn't any.
No, that's out the window.
And I guess it's because they believe that it doesn't matter. Somebody can lose, like Becky. She can tap out, and by the end of the night, we can make her a champion. And, bro, it's, you know, we have no one to fault but ourselves for that. And when I say ourselves, I'm not talking about the 3 of us, but the quote-unquote WWE universe. The same people who accept Becky as getting a championship shot at WrestleMania after she taps out in a match against Asuka. That is the kind of mentality that puts us in these spots. And this is why the WWE can get away with this time and time again. Character protection. So the match ends. Miz sees Shane's limo and, you know, he's going to yell at him or whatever. And just then, apparently a police car comes from Washington, D.C. into Baltimore and drops Becky off. Becky gets out of the vehicle, and after the break, she goes into the ring and cuts a promo. And Hollywood, what do you think? She really is the next Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, you could see it tonight.
Yeah, definitely. No doubt. Now, let's be fair. We don't know if that was D.C. Metro or if that was Baltimore PD. So they could have done a prisoner transfer at some point last night.
Or maybe she just got arrested again since then.
Well, that's true. That could have happened too.
She is Irish. And, bro, we know from growing up in the coal region, those Irishmen, man, they get a little drink in them. Look out.
Yeah. Does this go into the promo, or am I ahead of myself?
You're ahead of yourself.
Okay, then I'll leave it here. Yeah, cops do not take you home. If you ever get arrested, listen, don't think you're going to get a ride home from the police, because what you saw on TV tonight is not true.
Well, maybe, you know, I don't know if you heard the story about Tyler Wade of the Yankees Ubering from Scranton to Yankee Stadium last night. Cost him $300.
Yep.
So maybe Becky actually Ubered, and the cop was moonlighting, and that's how he drove her all the way to Baltimore.
Well, you said Scranton. So
with his lights on.
We have to take a minute to shout out the Steamtown Stunner, the Electric City Saint, because that's That's his backyard right there.
Is it really?
Yep.
Oh.
Maybe he was
Same
driving
town.
the Uber.
Maybe
He could have been driving the
He could have
Uber.
been driving. He passed White on Interstate 91 there, or 95, I should say.
That's a possibility. Okay, Hollywood, going into the promo, what did you think of the promo?
Well, again, another message came through from AC saying, how did you put it exactly? She's Conor McGregor. Sounds like Conor McGregor.
Well, she sounds, I think I said a poor man's Conor McGregor.
Poor man's, okay, yeah. Here's the thing. When I first started liking Becky, I liked, she was wearing the steampunk goggles, and she was kind of punky, kind of, Irish. It kind of gave you the feel like the Dropkick Murphys up there in Boston, the Irish, the punk. And this man character is completely different, and I think what they probably told her was, go pretend you're Conor McGregor.
It sounded just like it. Oh,
the actual really
word I used was bad Conor McGregor ripoff was the words I used, but it means we all know what it means, the same thing. And dude, that's the whole time with the getting arrested. Conor's he's been in the news lately. You know what I mean? Becky's getting arrested, and she called herself the double champ. We talked about that last night, Stames. I believe that was on air when we talked about the double champ stuff. So listen, it sounded very much like a bad Conor McGregor ripoff to me. It's what I was thinking the whole time. Irish accent included. I think she accentuated it tonight. You know what I mean? It's almost like she's trying to play up to her Irish accent.
We've heard this before, Hollywood.
I think a wise man said that before. Yes. A wise general has said that before.
He did? I'm sorry. Yep. I'm not ripping you off. If you said that before, you were right. I just noticed it tonight, so you noticed it before me.
Yeah, I said on an earlier program, she seemed a little bit more Irish tonight than usual. Am I crazy or what? And Hollywood said, no, you're crazy.
No, I guess you're not that crazy.
So let me ask you this, and I'll ask you first, Hollywood. If Becky wins the 2 titles, is she going to be able to keep that crowd behind her and move that audience into this, women's evolution?
If they're not unifying, and I don't think they are because they would have said it, I think they're going to overkill Becky Lynch. I think they think the fans want to see it. But if that's the case, she's going to be working. She'll either be working 2 programs at once, or she's going to be flip-flopping every month on each show.
So you mean unifying by not making it one title, being I'm the double champ, I'm the champ of both shows.
Yep. And if that's the case, the crowd is she's gonna lose the crowd pretty quickly because it's gonna be oversaturation.
Yep, I agree. Yep.
Well, oversaturation is what they do. I mean, they're great at that.
Well, like you mentioned previously on a recent show, could we see her becoming John Cena or Roman Reigns? Will the crowd turn on her?
Right.
I think I could see that happening.
Well, I was actually just going to bring that up because, I know this isn't the night for WrestleMania predictions, and I'm not making a prediction, but I think there's a possibility that Ronda puts on a performance in this match where she gets the crowd. And I think that could backfire the whole plan on them, because there's something about, Ronda's been in I don't know that Becky and Charlotte have been in this spot before. There was a time where the largest UFC crowd ever was a Ronda Rousey fight. Now, I understand she lost that fight to Holly Holm, but she didn't lose the fight because of the crowd. She's performed in front of 50,000 people before. She's sold main evented pay-per-views before. This is real. These other 2 have not. If you think they're going to outshine Ronda in this match, I would say there's almost no possibility of it. I don't care how much longer they've been wrestling. I don't care what their last name is or what their pedigree is. They're in the ring with a super mega star, and she's going to look like a super mega star. And if she does it, the match isn't going to be good. So they better hope she looks like a super mega star. And I think that's going to put a big foil in their plan here.
Man, I hope Ronda wins this match. Have I said that yet?
She's going to stand out. She's going to stand out. I'm telling you.
Up next, an exciting 18-person mixed tag match. I mean, bro, I know that the three of us have been clamoring for years about, could we just see one 18-person mixed tag match? WWE, just one time, that's all we want. Just one 18-person mixed tag match before I die is really what I was thinking. Can I just say it once? Well, here it was. We got it.
We got it.
They're delving into intergender wrestling. They're throwing the thing with Nia Jax. Now they're starting to delve into that intergender thing.
Now you talk about trying to get as many people on a show as you possibly could.
Yes.
This was definitely an indicator of that. Do either of you two guys have anything at all to say about this exciting 18-person intergender tag match? Hollywood, you first.
I'm going to be completely honest. When I saw that this was up next, I knew I had a good 10-minute window to go watch the Phillies, and that's what I did.
Wow, you turned the channel.
I turned it off.
You no-sold it.
Yep. I can't tell you what happened.
Play-by-play.
I can't mention a spot. I don't know.
So I was so into it that I utilized my time to check my text messages. So it took me like halfway through to realize that all you had to do to eliminate someone was to throw them over the top rope. I thought it was like an actual match. So I'm like, wow. I'm like, what is going on? Halfway through the thing. I'll say this. Was this like their way of being like, hey, Asuka, we know you did the job last week, so we're going to have you win the 18-person intergender match and jump around like an idiot afterwards. I mean, I guess she just looks so bad. I heard, Nakamura too. It's almost like Nakamura's mailing it in. Like, he can't wait to get back to Japan. You know what I mean? He's like Trump, just deport me now. And when does Asuka get to that point? Because it just seems like, although she had the title run, I guess, and she had a good run when she first came in, when she was still undefeated. And I believe it was led into last year's WrestleMania or SummerSlam. Was it WrestleMania where Charlotte beat her? And I just feel like once she lost, it was like, okay, now we don't need Asuka to win anymore. She could be badass, but she's not really badass because she's not going to win that much. But hey, we'll put her over Becky at Royal Rumble and then not show her on TV for 3 weeks. When does Asuka get to the Nakamura point where she's just like, just send me home? Just send me home.
I'll tell you this, AC. You might think right now that Nakamura and Asuka are dead in WWE, but Hollywood and me have come up with a booking plan that by next WrestleMania, they could be white hot.
Dude, I can't do. I'm gonna laugh too hard.
No, we won't do it right now, but
my
the plan is there.
Hey, whoa, hold on. You can't throw something out there like that. Just go, we'll tell you about it next.
Well, we would need a whole show to set it up, and maybe we'll do that. But we have a plan. We've talked about, we've discussed.
It's amazing.
After this, when we go off air of this show, we're recording that show because I want to know.
we would set the wrestling world on fire with it.
I cannot wait to hear this. I cannot wait. I don't even want to make any joking predictions because I just want to know what these minds are coming up with.
Oh, you can't even imagine it.
I know. That's why this is the first time all night that I've been at the edge of my seat.
What was the Hollywood? What was the when Russo was over at TNA? He was it TNA that he said that he was always getting struck down with his ideas by what was the group for the TV channel that would come in and they would say, "Oh, you can't do that."
It was WCW, I think. Standards and Practices.
Standards, yeah. We would be constantly shut down by Standards and Practices, probably with our idea.
Definitely.
But...
Standards and Practices. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I could just imagine.
All right, United States heavyweight champion is taking on Ali. Now, I want to say, when they said Ali, I actually thought Cassius Clay was going to be wrestling, but it turns out it's Mustafa Ali. And Hollywood, we had this conversation. In fact, we talked about the fact about, whether AC had heard about this or not and what he would have thought about them changing Mustafa's Ali, his name just to Ali, when to me there's only one Ali.
Yeah, and I wanted to know from the boxing fan that we know, how do you feel about that, man? I know it's wrestling, but I mean, there's one Ali.
Listen, it's ironic that I was listening to the From Brooklyn to the World podcast today, the Paulie Malignaggi podcast, and they were doing their top 5 heavyweights of all time, and they talked a lot about Ali, and when they were saying Ali, I knew who they were talking about. When you say Ali in any room, in any household in this country, they know who you're talking about. You're not talking about a pro boxer. He's so much more than that. And I don't like the idea of going to this one name bullshit. I think it's stupid, number one. But this name, I mean, what's next? You're going to have a LeBron? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even want to see Ali on TV again, ever. It has nothing to do with him, and I actually like him, but I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. It's so ridiculous. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I don't think they thought that through.
No, that's the problem. They don't think things through. Like, remember when they had to change it? And what the hell did they named the women's faction after some porn thing like 3 years ago and had to change it?
Oh,
yeah. Do you remember? Like, they never think of things through. They live their lives in this bubble where the WWE, it's like, you ever get cut off by somebody, or somebody let the door slam in your face, or didn't say thank you for you holding the door, and in your mind you're thinking, it's your world, I'm just living in it. That's how the WWE treats everything. It's our world, you're just living in it. Mm-hmm. And this is another example of that. For you to use that name, and not one person, they have 97 people. Dana Warrior, Dewey, somebody. Speak up. You got to say, hey, listen, boss, Ali, that listen, I don't even like LaDainian Tomlinson because they called him LT. He's not LT. There is one LT. And I'll tell you this, there is one stinking Ali. 1-0. Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali. He's the only one. He's the only one that will ever be. And there's a reason for that. It's ridiculous. Just change his name altogether. Don't call him Ali. I hate it.
Here's the thing of it. Now, you said, Stames, that he didn't like the Mustafa name because he thought early on he was getting booed because it sounded too, ethnic, terrorist, whatever.
Right, yeah.
So it wasn't helping him
because of it, yeah.
Right. So it wasn't helping him get over. So they decided to go with Ali. But here's the kicker. His real name is Adil Alam. So why not just call him Alam?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
They overthought it. So now if he starts getting popular down the line, you're going to have people from, outside the wrestling bubble going, yo, bro, why don't you change your handle to something other than Ali, because you ain't Ali. And that's not going to help him get over either.
No, it's not going to help him get over.
Well, bro, the other part of it too is that, he was afraid he was getting booed because of the name. It was too Muslim, I guess. Too terrorist.
I guess, yeah.
There's a boxer from Brooklyn named Saddam Ali. He's not a superstar yet. Try to coin himself as Ali. You know what they would do to him in boxing circles?
Yeah, it'd kill him.
Yeah, it'd be a mistake.
Yep.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with Mustafa Ali is he was in favor of the name change because he thought
now I'm not. I don't like you anymore. Now I really don't want to see you on TV.
It would be easier for him to get over, right?
It's not going to work. Then he gets squashed by Joe.
That's exactly where I'm going with this. He gets in this match, and it was what? Was it a 2-minute match?
He got squashed.
I don't think it was a 2-minute match. So I don't think your name can overcome the fact that you lost a match in less than 2 minutes.
And let's face it, I don't know that it was planned to have Mustafa Ali. I'll just call you Mustafa. I'm not even calling you Ali anymore. To have Mustafa have an injury to get Kofi Kingston into that gauntlet match. I don't know if it was just a miracle and they got lucky. Maybe they did. But at the same time you don't have a match like we have coming at WrestleMania this Sunday if Mustafa is in that gauntlet match.
Right. Exactly.
Fact of the matter. And hey, he had that 3-way match. It was at the last pay-per-view, Fastlane. He had the 3-way match, and the three of us all agreed that he actually stood out in that match. Yep. But then, honestly, I forgot about him because, again, they do nothing with anybody. I forgot until he came out tonight, and then he's Ali. I'm like, what the fuck? Ali? Where's Mustafa? Like, we just saw him at a pay-per-view. He's Mustafa Ali. He disappears for 2 weeks, and then he's fucking Ali again.
Well, bro, you got to subscribe to Dave Meltzer. You're missing out on all the news.
That's what I want to do in my life. Listen to Dave Meltzer. Like, listen, sorry, Shab, Paulie Malignaggi, Robert Frank, the great Joe Rogan. I gotta take time out of listening. Mike Francesa. I gotta take time out of listening to you to listen to Dave Meltzer. Yeah, not gonna happen. Listen. There is no Oh, speaking of wrestling shows, did you hear who was doing a live WrestleMania post show on WFAN on the Fan on Sunday? Taz.
Nice.
Wow.
11 to 2 a.m. live on the Fan. Taz WrestleMania post show.
I'll never forget what he did at that wedding and how he busted. He busted up that wedding. He took off that jacket and what a scene. Anyway. Michael Cole is at the table for the contract signing. What does this say to you guys? Hollywood, why is Michael Cole there? You telling me one of them other three stooges couldn't do this contract signing?
Well, Shane left, so.
Corey was tired. He already did his spot with Becky. He introduced Becky, so we couldn't do Corey there.
Okay.
Why not think outside the box and maybe have like a Lawler or... You know what I mean? Why Cole? Like, I'm with you. I don't understand why Cole in that spot. Especially since you would think Cole wouldn't even be calling the match, right? It should be the Smackdown crew calling the match.
Right. I would think, but who knows? We're dealing with the WWE here. Hollywood, so we get into the contract signing, and the fans are going nuts. Daniel Bryan's trying to give life lessons, but you said that you didn't even hear the life. Like, you don't even know about the life lessons. Your life is not any better tonight because you could not take your eyes off of one Big E Langston. Big E Langston. Look, I remembered it. His last name was Langston.
I could not stop. I'm with you guys. I could not stop watching Big E. I was like, I know they're gonna say it on the show, and I was just sitting there. Big E's oh man, it was so funny, dude. It was so funny. Good for Big E. He's in phenomenal shape too. No homo.
Oh, he is. Hollywood, what do you think of Big E?
He's hysterical. He steals the show every time. He stole the scene.
Bro, he had that shirt on. It was cut out. What was that all about?
His boobies hanging. I think that was like you know how the women wear, they cut out the V in their shirts now? I mean, I hang out with a lot of young girls, so I know they do this. So what they do is they wear...
You might not want to say that too well. I mean, somebody might, take that the wrong way.
Age.
Oh, of age. Okay, there you go.
I'm freaking... Listen, I'm 39. A 25-year-old girl's young to me, okay?
Okay, all just right? To clarify, we don't need any troubles here for you, buddy.
Listen, the last one was 22. It was 22. That's still...
It's
legal. It's legal. It's legal. So anyway, because I hang out with these young women...
There we go.
I know that they get these shirts, right? And they get the push-up bras from Pink and from Victoria's Secret. And then they get the shirts and they cut like a V. So you got, like the neck, the neck thing. So the cut from there, they'll cut a V so that it shows the cleavage. So I think Big E was actually making fun of that by having his man titties hanging out. And listen, I'm not even calling him man titties as a joke. That motherfucker's chest is stacked. So that's just what I think was going on there.
That dude is cut up, no doubt about it. Life lessons. Number 1, do not become complacent. The way Kofi Kingston has been complacent over the last 11 years.
I loved it.
Life lesson number 2. Do not be a bystander in your own life, the way that Kofi Kingston has been a bystander in his own life. Don't sit on the sidelines and wait on other people to push you to the top, the way Kofi waited for Xavier and Big E and the fans to push him to the top. So Kofi takes the mic, cuts a promo on Daniel Bryan, and I don't know about you guys, but I am pumped for this match. I want to see it. It got me up for the match. I was already up for the match. I put it in my top 3 last night when AC and I talked about it.
Yep.
Hollywood, are you psyched for this match?
I'm pumped for this. And the crowd during this segment, and Daniel Bryan did a great job for keeping them going. But the crowd interaction here, man, depending on the story, I don't know if you guys remember, and this is going to be an upcoming tease, by the way. 2015, I did a Blading for Truth Awards. And I gave out a special award called the Blading for Truth Award that superseded any other award. And I gave it to Vampiro and Pentagon.
Tremendous.
Because it crossed off all the demandments. That's shout out King Firehawk. He named it the 5 demandments. This has the possibility, if they finish it right, I don't know if they're going to. If the story's there, which it is right now, the crowd interaction, the announcing, they could hit a historical home run here. If it shakes out the way it could possibly shake out. What do you guys think? Because I'm seriously thinking not only is this going to steal the show, but it might outshine the main event as to this is the only thing that any of us is going to be talking about.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if one of the 5 demandments is the announcing, we're relying on Tom Phillips and Byron Saxton.
I know. That's going to be the tough one for sure. Yeah.
I'm not sure that'll happen, but I'll let AC go ahead and talk now.
A couple things. Last night when Stames and I picked the 3 matches we want to see, I did not put this in my top 3. I got to say it's 1A right now after tonight. Last week turned me off. I didn't like the way things were done last week. That's last week. I think this was one of the better contract signings that they've done. I thought it got the borderline, it got the personal into it. You had Big E with the a little bit of the comedy. I thought both guys, when they had the mic in their hand, killed it. They didn't interrupt each other either, which I liked. I was sitting there watching Daniel Bryan thinking he's scared that Kofi is going to Daniel Bryan, Kofi is going to Daniel Bryan. He's going to do what Daniel Bryan did 4 or 5 years ago, where he was the white hot underdog, screwed by the management B-plus player, and you know how the story ends. And then Kofi grabs the mic and drives that point home. My fear is they don't go all the way with it, because for the first time in this program, I wanted the story to be really cool of Kofi getting there, and I didn't care whether he won or not. As I sit here right now, I want Kofi to win, and I'm fully invested in that match, and it's my 1A that I want to see Sunday, and I still think it's going to go first.
I was in the same spot as you, by the way. Just up until tonight, I thought if he gets there, they did what they had to do. He doesn't necessarily have to win. But now he does, in my opinion.
It was so good tonight.
Yep.
It was so good.
And I agree with what AC said about last week too. I thought it was a hokey way to get him into the match finally by having his tag team partners win a gauntlet. It didn't make any sense. Typical WWE
And
fashion.
the Usos, when would the Usos ever forfeit? That bothered me too.
And look what they get for that. They get to wrestle in a fatal 4-way.
Yeah, they're the biggest thing the Usos did for WrestleMania was forfeit for Kofi Kingston. That's great. Anyway.
But it's interesting that the team that they forfeited to that ended up beating them last week, the New Day, they're not in that fatal 4-way match.
No, all the teams that lost in that fatal 4-way match are in that match. and they're all the same guys that Kofi beat the week before, by the way.
That's true.
So you have an NXT team and 4 other guys that got their asses kicked for 2 weeks straight, facing the best damn tag team in the world. That's great.
Yep, that's it.
That almost bothers me as much as the Ali thing. Yeah, they both drive me crazy.
That is the end of the Smackdown show. Hollywood, since you were not available last night, I'll ask you, what are your top 3 matches from WrestleMania this year that you were excited to see?
Excited to see. That's a loaded question, bro. Because I don't know if I can pick 3.
It's a struggle.
It is a struggle. The struggle is real.
You could be excited for it for different reasons, though. Well, I'll give you that caveat. Okay. Because that's kind of what we did.
All right, I'm going to go Women 3 because I'm dying to see how they end this. So I'm kind of more excited to see how they end it.
We were in the same boat, both of us.
Number 2, I'll put Brock and Rollins.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Brock
Very
and
mainstream.
Rollins. Very mainstream. I'm going mainstream here. I'm selling out.
Brock's going to kick his ass. Probably not, but...
You know, I think he's going to. I think people are going to be surprised at the ending.
I said it last night. I was excited that Rollins got over on him because I think it's further proof that Brock might kick his ass.
Yep. And number 1, of course, they have this on a silver platter with Kofi and Bryan. So I'm either going to be shaking my head or I'm going to be smiling ear to ear that they did the smart thing.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I should ask your thoughts on it now if we're going to do a preview show, but
hold off. We'll get there.
All right,
We'll dissect everything.
All right. I got you.
So there we have it. That was Smackdown Live, the go home show. And there's nothing left to do now, fellas, but WrestleMania.
Yes.
Now, I say that tongue in cheek because there's an Impact show on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
There's the ROH and New Japan show. Is that Saturday?
Saturday. Takeover's Friday.
Friday's Takeover. I mean, there's so much stuff going on. It's not even funny.
Hey, listen, we got Tessa Blanchard versus Joey Ryan, the Joe White Bowl. That's the Joe White Bowl.
Yes.
I think Tessa could probably take him.
I think she's gonna rip that thing right off his waist.
Any other comments from either of you regarding the final show going into WrestleMania, or any comments, Hollywood, about the ratings last night for the go-home show of Monday Night Raw? 2.6.
Interesting thought there. Yes, 2.6. Go home to Mania. That got to be the worst in history, right? Before a Mania.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
And that's basically what they had last week.
Yeah,
well, right?
Dude.
So no big increase there.
Whatever it is, they need to figure it out because I understand, dude. Like, people can hit up the clips on YouTube and all that, everything that Electric City Saint always says, and I get that. But cable networks and advertisers, they still care about ratings. So whatever's going on, they need to fix it.
Bro, we called this 4 years ago.
Yes.
I mean, the trend was trending, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I should give it a degrees of bad rating.
Yes, you should.
I got to be honest. There's some stuff I really hated. The Uso thing.
18-person intergender match.
18-person intergender match. But I liked a lot of the promos.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this a 5.7.
Ooh, so it beat Raw.
I thought it beat Raw.
Good.
I think that the 2-hour thing helps too. But I liked the Randy Orton, AJ Styles, Kevin Owens segment. I got to see my girl Alexa. We got obviously the contract signing. I think the good, it didn't outweigh the bad, but it came close to evening the bad. So 5.7 is almost even. And one of the higher ratings I've given. I actually was, the way it started off after that first promo, I thought we were headed to like the abyss again. But I think some of those middle segments and the last segment recovered it. But again, it's still below average degrees of bad. We never got a degree of good. We never even come close to a 1. So they got a long way to go.
Well, they're saving that for Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, listen, I am not sold. I will say this though. It's too long. There's too many matches. I just hope those couple of big matches steal the show to the point that you brush aside the bullshit. Because we're going to get the bullshit. We know that.
So I was looking, and the 2017 ratings, go home show for Mania, 3 million. 2018, 2.8 million. 2019, 2.6 million. Do you see a pattern, fellas?
The pattern of regression continues.
Yes, that's the trend.
If you look at 2013, it was probably 5.5 million. You know, we went through this a long time ago, and the change, you're trying to sell people on the fact that there was 5.5 million viewers, and now there's only 4.5, and they're like, well, that's still a lot, but you still lost a 25% of your audience. If you keep losing 25% of your audience, you end up losing at some point 50% of your audience. And they've lost more than that. They've lost like 60% of their audience. So somebody has to be seeing that. And if I'm an executive at UFC or Fox, I don't care what your hits on YouTube are. I care who's watching the damn TV show when it's on my network.
Exactly.
And when my advertisers are paying me to advertise on your show. That's the way it works. That's how they make money in TV. They don't make money off you buying tickets and T-shirts. The TV station makes money off selling advertising while your product's on the TV. That's how it works. So if your ratings suck, you can't sell the advertising for enough to justify paying for it. Why do you think the NFL gets so much damn money? Because a lot of people watch it. And that's why we've always said that this idea that people watch TV differently, which was the backlash that came back to you and I by people we know, was people watch TV differently now. And we kept saying, yes, but not when you're talking about live sports or a live event. And Raw and SmackDown are live events. They fall into the Monday Night Football category. They fall into an NBA playoff category. They fall into a Sunday Night Baseball category. That's who they should be measuring up against. And they're getting destroyed in those categories.
Yeah, there's nobody that is going to YouTube to watch clips of NFL football games.
Right.
No, they don't care.
You turn on the damn game and you watch the whole game. You sit through the commercials. You do all of it. That's what you do.
They and word to warning here for all you McMahon is a genius people out there with the XFL thing. The AFL or whatever, what the hell they called it? The AAF?
Yeah.
American?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, folded today.
Yep.
It didn't even last a season. So Vince McMahon's going to save football now too, right? He can't even save his own wrestling company, but he's going to save football. Okay.
Well, that's one competitor out of the way for Vince. So
there you go. Yeah.
I mean, glass half full, right?
Before we get out of here, let me ask you guys this, because I wanted to get this out, because I think it's an interesting topic. We talked earlier, and I don't know who I was on with, but I think it might have been Stames, might have been you. We were talking about Fox. We were talking about Friday nights, and there was an issue we were discussing about time slot versus the Fox News at 10, which is national. So Fox always breaks at 10 no matter what the programming is. So we figured SmackDown would be going 8 to 10. Well, we read an article this week that Fox possibly wants SmackDown to be 3 hours. And if that's the case, there's a good possibility that they're going to do 8 to 10 on Fox and kick it over to Fox Sports from 10 to 11.
Ooh.
Discuss what would happen if that actually comes true.
They're going to lose more than half their audience for the last hour.
Well, yeah, because let's face it, you have to be awake to turn the channel. You're not going to be.
Well, the other thing, let's be honest, what they're going to do here is they paid a lot of money for this programming. There's going to be a lot of commercial segments. You guys watch The Walking Dead, right?
Sure.
It's an hour and 20 minutes because they sold all that extra advertising time.
Yep.
It's not like you're getting more show time because it's an hour and 20 minutes. They can't fit their show into an hour anymore because there's so many damn commercials. That's what's going to, like, they're already doing it on SmackDown. Look, the Miz segment tonight, there was 3 commercial breaks from the time he came out to the time the segment ended.
What are they going to do, too? How is Fox going to feel about the fact if it would happen that, usually you save your best segments, your main event for the end of the show. If SmackDown would do that and FS1 would get a better rating. Now, we're not seeing that on Raw. Obviously, the third hour is always the worst hour, so maybe that'll stay the same.
Maybe that's
SmackDown Live too.
That's what they're looking at. And the thing is, I know enough about TV ratings to know that you're not going to carry over that whole audience to Fox 1. You're just not going to. There's a difference between those national TV channels and the cable TV channels. And in recognition, Fox Sports 1 is way down on the list. It's not even in the same. Why do you think the UFC is getting so much more money being on ESPN than they did being on Fox 1? Because I know the demise of ESPN's been written about and talked about for ages. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Yes, they're not where they used to be, but their viewership is so much bigger than Fox Sports 1. It's not even close. The UFC ratings are through the roof compared to they were a year ago, just from going to ESPN. So you're going to tell me that the WWE is going to grab 3 million people from Fox, from Big Fox, from the big channel, the number one Fox channel, and bring them to Fox Sports 1, which there's a fair amount of our audience that wouldn't even know what the damn number was on the TV. You think there's a lot of wrestling fans out there that watch real athletic events? Probably not.